Welcome to Unclogged Conversations, powered by Larry Stinson Plumbing.
I mean, they do a 15-year warranty on the heat exchanger. So in my mind, that tells me they expect that unit to last 15 years.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, like I said, there's going to be all kinds of factors and stuff going in, but I would see it typically lasting as long or a little longer than your tank type water heater.
It seemed that what I've seen from being in business and being
About 12.
Yeah, 12 to 20.
Yeah.
I mean, a tank type, you're going to get 8 to 15.
I have worked on some 18-year-old Takagis before.
Yeah.
Again, if you got that filtration system, I mean, it's going to make that last even longer.
Yeah. But if you do your service and you do your all that, I think that's the biggest key. You always can tell the ones that A, have hard water, B, they didn't do anything to it,
It's just
ran it into the ground
on the wall for 7 years,
and now it's broke.
Yep.
Now it's leaking. UEF rating. That is what it costs you. That is a government rating that what they can think it costs you to run that unit.
Yes. So the way I had it explained to me was like if you got a UEF rating of 0.93, that means for every dollar you put into it, 0.07 cents. So yeah, sorry, 7 cents gets wasted.
Yep.
Just energy dissipates. I mean, your tank types are running
60s.
0.7.
Yeah, I think they're in the 60s.
Yeah. So I mean, we're jumping from the 60s, 70s to 92, 93, 94, 95, 98 up to some of these.
Iconic's supposedly at 98.
Yeah.
I've heard from other manufacturers that's an inflated number, but
even if it is an inflated number, we are still, you're wasting 30 less cents a dollar that you're putting into this thing on energy.
Yeah.
That you're saving. So, I mean, the energy efficiency is nuts on these things, especially once you go to heat pump, but that may be another.
Yeah. So, non-condensing are a thing of the past in what, 4 years, 5 years, 29, 30?
Yeah, I think in 26 for commercial, 29 in residential. We are not going to be allowed to install those anymore.
Because they're like a 0.7, right?
No, they're
0.81?
They're 0.8 something.
I think they're 0.81.
Yeah, but they fell just a hair below the new requirement.
They have to be a 0.90 or better.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. And so, yeah, they just fell in just under, even though, and that's what kind of drives me crazy about that, because they're still better than our tank types.
Well, it's not too late. I mean, it's never too late. We hadn't enacted it yet.
And, yeah.
I think it's passed, if I remember correctly from what I read. But
yeah, but, you know, TikTok got banned and turned on the next day. So.
It's back. But that's a different subject. But I would highly recommend people contact their local legislators and.
I mean, really.
Because the problem with this law, is it eliminates a whole bunch of people from ever getting a tankless.
Because there is a jump in price and in what all you have to do to go to those condensing units.
Yes.
You can get away with more on a non-condensing unit.
Well, it's simpler.
Yeah. Most time it's upsize gas, change out the vent. And that's all I'm really changing.
Yeah. And you can put it in different locations because you don't have to provide that.
I'm not worried about a drain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to continue to improve on those non-condensings. But in the condensings are where it's at, and one day they'll be gone. But I don't think we're ready for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you're rushing a little too fast on that one.
I mean, that and the electric water heaters that they say will be gone.
Yeah, that one's a little weird too, because you're taking away people's options. Soon, all they're going to be able to do is a heat pump.
Yeah.
Or an electric tankless, which we can get into electric tankless.
I mean, that's a good segue to electric tankless.
They do exist.
They exist. They work if you have the right scenario.
Yes.
We've installed several. I wouldn't say a bunch.
Yeah.
99% of the ones we've installed, well, we hadn't done 100, so I'll say 95% of the ones that we've done, customers have not been happy with.
Yes.
I think of two.
I think two. Two is all I can think. And one of them was they already had it and loved it.
Yeah, and it was two people lived in a house. They knew what they needed to do. They knew that they couldn't run everything, and they want to. Theirs went out, needed to be replaced. We replaced it with the exact same or similar model, and they were happy.
Yeah.
The second was a restaurant we did in the county that needed space in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So he provided the Tankless, and it was a very badass little Tankless, and I personally know this guy, and I've talked to him multiple times since we did it, and he swears by it.
Yeah.
Now, it was a big one.
But that is not your residential electric Tankless.
It was a big one, and it draws a lot of electricity.
Yeah.
The problem with, to get a, what'd you say, 6 gallon per minute?
Well, yes. Which, the ones I was looking at, because I was trying to figure out, how big can you go residentially? The biggest one, if you lived at the very southernmost tip of Texas, you might be able to hit that 8 gallons a minute. In the dead of summer, you might be able to hit that 8 gallons a minute. Most houses run 5 to 10.
Yeah.
So it looks like, from what I was seeing in our area, the DFW area, the highest you can get was 6.6 gallons per minute out of their biggest unit that I think it was Ream that I was looking through.
Yeah. Which is probably the most popular.
Yeah. It's the one
electric.
you can find that one pretty easily yourself.
Yeah, you can buy one at Home Depot.
Yeah, exactly. The problem with that is, it'll run a standard house. The problem with that is you don't really need a plumber until right at the end.
Yep.
We barely have anything to do with it. It's all the electricity.
What did you say the amps was?
It was 300 amps. It was 240.
It was 240. Okay.
But you needed 8 gauge wire.
Wow.
And you needed 4 48 breakers.
Wow.
So
you need a sub panel for it alone.
Pretty much.
And you're going to have to change your service to your house because 99% of the houses out there have a 200 amp service going to their house.
Yes.
That means you need to call the utility company, and they're running you a new line from the transformer to your house. You're setting a new panel box and a new service, all for this water heater.
And that's what we would have to do to get it to that code rating of being able to actually work on your house.
I mean, I haven't priced that in years, but years ago, I'm going to say probably 18 years ago, it was $10,000 to get the power company to change the power out.
And I had an electrician company come out and replace just my meter for me in new panel. The new meter and panel ran me almost $5,000. So, I mean, new service, new panel, then actually running the wires to the unit.
I can imagine if you're on the other side of the house, what 8 gauge wire would cost you to get.
And 4 of them. You got to run 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking $20,000 to not just use this electric tank type water heater and leave it there.
Or not get propane in.
Or, you'd be better off dropping a propane tank and us throw you in a propane tankless than you would doing all that wire. Unless you're an electrician. If you're an electrician, go for it. I'll come and hook the waters up for you. Yep. Happy to.
He probably did it himself.
Yeah, really. You do all that, you can hook the waters up.
So we've worked on tankless. They're pretty simple. I'll put a picture up of, we got one electric tankless that is in the tankless room.
And that's actually the one that
we changed out, and they were happy.
Yeah, it was the one they had before, and they wanted the same one again.
Simple. I mean, there's nothing to them.
There's really not. It's
just you can't heat water. Electricity can't heat water that fast.
Yeah.
It is the problem. Without having a massive amount of elements.
Like you used a cooktop electric oven and a cooktop gas oven.
Ain't the same.
Yeah, that gas cooktop gets it there way quicker.
Lifelong, I mean, if you service your gas tankless water here yearly. You keep everything up. You have decent water. What are our customers looking at life expectancy of a?
I mean, they do a 15-year warranty on the heat exchanger. So in my mind, that tells me they expect that unit to last 15 years.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like I said, there's going to be all kinds of factors and stuff going in, but I would see it typically lasting as long or a little longer than your tank-type water heater.
It seemed to, what I've seen from being in business and being
About
honest.
12.
Yeah, 12 to 20.
Yeah.
I mean, a tank type, you're going to get 8 to 15.
I have worked on some 18-year-old Takagi's before.
Yeah.
Again, if you got that filtration system, I mean, it's going to make that last even longer.
Yeah. But if you do your service and you do all that, I think that's the biggest key. You always can tell the ones that, A, have hard water, B, they didn't do anything to it,
Just
ran it into the ground.
Out on the wall for 7 years.
And now it's broke.
Yep.
Now it's leaking. And they do leak. That's the other thing, the big misconception. I want to get rid of that huge so that I don't flood my house. I want a tank top out to gone because that can flood my house.
To pressurized water.
Yep. Once it leaks, it doesn't stop till somebody turns the water off.
Oh, that freeze came through, and when all the power went out, Texas cleaned out the USA of tankless water heaters.
Yeah, we got to where we turned on. I don't even think I think we did 2 during that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I had none in stock. I was not prepared for that.
No, I didn't know that was gonna. I'd never really thought about because they'll keep themselves hot. They'll make sure they don't freeze. Like they're actually really safe until the power goes out.
Until it can't tell itself to turn back on.
Yeah. So as long as your power's on, it'll beat a tank type.
Yeah,
for sure. But that power off.
And when the power goes up, I think you're better off with the tank top. It takes a lot longer to freeze that 50 gallons than it does the little 3/4 pipe inside the tankless water heater. Yeah. Especially it's mounted on the wall outside.
Yeah. I mean, they turn into a time bomb when the power's off and it's freezing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just waiting to bust.
But that's a once in 50-year deal.
And honestly, people are planning ahead more now.
Yeah. I mean,
God, we've installed so many generators.
I mean, you saw Renai, they make battery backups for them.
Yeah. Just buy you some time, keep those little heaters on the coils going,
and so I think that's going to be a bigger thing.
They're planning ahead nowadays.
I can't tell you how many people have generators now, so that will help.
That will help a lot.
We done a lot of generators, and we don't really do a whole lot, but we have done a lot. We don't promote them because we're not electricians, but we have some electricians we've done them for.
Yeah, we run the gas to them. We don't really do the whole generator. No. I'm not a generator wizard.
But I can't tell you how many are out there now.
But yeah, there's...
I mean, how many times you've been to a house and...
They booming.
You got you a generator too.
Yeah.
So that's a big help. But they will bust. They will flood. That didn't wipe that conspiracy out.
Yeah.
Or that theory out. It will not save you from water damage.
Yeah.
Not instant hot.
Not without extra work involved. Like we can make it pretty darn close to instant hot.
But the biggest thing to them, and probably having 6 kids at home at one point in time, is endless hot water.
Endless. Yeah. It'll keep going. Turn it on today. Tomorrow you come home, you will still have hot water flowing out of that tap. Now, it'll probably get a little pricey after a while. Yeah. Your water bill and your gas bill and everything's going to shoot up. But
and pray your drain will stop up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, really. The drain will stop up. But it'll keep producing it.
Yeah.
Just forever.
And that's probably the biggest selling point to them. Once you get people to understand that it's not instant, it's not really a money savings. It's not really. I mean, that was the problem with them when they came out. Everybody tried to sell them, go green.
Yeah.
It was fairly new for the 1.28 or 1.6 back then, I guess. Shows how old I am. Fairly new for the 1.6s, fairly new for the tankless water heater, and there's a bunch of companies that got rich saying we're green.
Yeah.
You're going to green your house up.
Yeah.
Now, you are saving. You have better.
And I'd say you're saving better now than you were when they were saying that.
Yeah. But you're still going to. The problem is people tend to, with the endless hot water, They tend to take longer showers,
Yeah.
which goes ahead and eliminates any savings that you would have made.
Yeah. You gain a little bit of energy efficiency, but now you're using extra energy because you're running more hot water than you ever was before.
And when they're running, they burn some gas.
Well, yeah.
You hear that meter.
Oh, yeah.
It is moving through there. So, to wrap this up, tankless are definitely a investment. Need to be maintained. Need to be treated like.
More like a car almost.
Yeah, but definitely more than tank top.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, tank tops are still supposed to flush them and all that stuff.
But, I mean, you drain it.
You fill it back up.
You turn it off, you drain it, you fill it back up. Once a year. That was all you needed to do. There's a bit more maintenance going in. It needs the oil change.
Yeah.
You know.
But as long as you maintain them, they'll last you a long time. They are well worth the money. I love mine. I have tried like hell to get Scott to install one.
Hey, the only reason I don't was because my tank is like 4 years old. Like, it was a year old when I moved into my house, and I've been in my house for 4 years now. So
But you don't have a house full of people.
And no, it's just me and the wife. But as soon as I have issues with it, I'm going tankless. I can install it for cheaper than most people, and endless hot water and better energy efficiency.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take longer showers because.
But your wife will, I promise.
But yeah, she will. She still want me to install that garden tub, and I'm like, no.
Oh, there you go. They don't suck that.
Yeah, right. Why are all our bills so high all of a sudden?
75 gallons.
Mm-hmm.
For 140 degree water. So it's hot when she gets in.
Yeah.
I got all that water. Mm-hmm. But now, got any questions about tankless? Leave them in the comments. We are very well versed in all of them. We've came a long ways in the past year.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah.
Got us a story today.
Oh, kind of got one on tankless water heaters.
Okay.
Welcome to the Lewak Lounge.
There you go. Welcome to the leak.
But this one I'm hoping we actually throw a picture up of, because this is what happened to another guy of ours. It's a little warning on tankless water heaters. There is a little bit of a downside to them, and that's critters.
Oh, okay. Yes, I got plenty of pictures of that.
Yes. I know we got some good ones, and it'd be impressive. I know I haven't ever seen anything like this.
When he brought that heat exchanger back to the shop so we could use our huge compressor to blow it out, I was shocked at how much I blew out of the heat exchanger after he'd already worked on it in the field. Yeah.
He'd already tried to clean it in the field, and then so you got to worry about bugs, small lizards. You know, every now and then, I've had those calls where they, I hear something, my tankless water heater is making a whole bunch of a noise when it runs now. We go there, we pull the fan. Oh, there's a poor little gecko stuck to the sidewall of the fan. Get him out, clean out. I found a couple little bug legs and stuff. Get all that cleaned out, put it back together. Goes back to working just fine. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't notice or something that it's making the extra noise, that it's having the trouble, until one day you just have no hot water. Yep. Then the plumber comes out and breaks it down. Hundreds? Thousands?
Over, I would say.
Maybe not thousands.
Nah,
but
over 200, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely in the hundreds of wasps. You couldn't even tell you were looking at a fan almost.
No, it was full.
It was wasps in a metal bowl. That's what it looked like.
And Corey ran his camera up the vent and seen more live ones coming in.
Yes, like there were still active wasps all up in the vent. And then he tries so hard to break this down and clean this thing out and get it back together. And we replaced the fan on it. Did we clean the heat exchanger first?
No, we did a fan first. Still wouldn't work.
Replaced the fan. Still didn't work. That's when he starts to try to clean out the heat exchanger. Realizes he can't get to everything inside this heat exchanger. So he brings it back here. And then that's when you hook it up to an air compressor and just start.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah. Just every time I was like, oh, he's got to be done. And then you change the angle, and then there goes a bunch more bug parts flying out of this thing. I've never seen anything like this.
Flipped it over so many ways and just kept pulling stuff out.
Just kept finding it. Couldn't believe it.
There was probably 200 in the fan. I don't know how many made it to the heat exchanger.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think, they went through the fan, into the heat exchanger, and into that cavity where the heat exchanger was.
I didn't even realize they could get into that.
I didn't either.
I don't know.
And the customer asked us what we did. Pest control would be my first suggestion.
Yeah, I'd have somebody fogging for wasps all around your house every day. I'm not sure really what to tell you on that one.
No.
But again, it's kind of a rare problem. I mean, again, we've had stuff get stuck in the fan. You just go and you pull it out and you put the fan back and it's fine. Which, if you're getting it serviced once a year, I mean, that should kind of be looked into. Yeah. Like, oh, hey, we're starting to see some parts here. We might want to break in a little further and clean further, and that stuff, you can get on top of it. But what? How old was that?
2 years old. We installed that water here 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even think they had called us out to service it yet. No.
And we had sent them notifications to service, and then they had chose not to do it. But and we replaced the last one because they had the same problem. And we attempted to vent over the screen and do stuff, but they have a wasp infestation somewhere in that
on their
in that property somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know what to tell you to do about that one.
Back to what I told Corey, they need a pest control.
Yeah, but yeah.
You got to find where these are coming from. And
you got to stop them.
I can't block the vent and the intake valve.
Yeah.
And to keep them out.
Yeah.
I mean, we put fairly small mesh on there to start with, and it had came off in the storm or something, and Corey reattached it after he got done cleaning it off. And I think he improved it a little bit.
And again, according to manufacturer, you're not really supposed to do that.
No. But we were trying to.
What do you do? We're trying to help all we can. You know, we left the gaps. Like, it still can breathe plenty.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not worried about having any issues there, but I still feel like wasps can probably get through it. Mm-hmm. So we're just trying to help. But, yeah, pest control.
And the problem with that is if the unit is not used a lot, I don't know, I'm not well versed if they had other units or that was the only one, but the Tankless only runs while you're using it, and then it cools down for a brief minute and then shuts off.
So over the nighttime, where you're gone at work all day.
Where our tank top will, even during the night, will continue to...
Yeah, periodically heat itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it tends to keep...
So, I mean, that's where you're wasting power.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it tends to keep...
But yeah, nothing will get close enough to it because it doesn't have enough time to start a family before it burns.
That was definitely interesting. Tankless were well worth the money, in my opinion.
But yes, like there's some things you got to watch out for. But again, I'm going tankless as soon as I have an issue on mine.
Next episode.
Maybe 4.
Next episode, we are going to do Mow and Flow. It is a wireless shut-off valve for your water system in your home. Fairly new to the market. I was approached by Flow, which eventually sold out to Moen probably 7 years ago. And it just wasn't... I didn't think it was there. It had some advancements that I thought needed to be made, and they have done. We've installed several of them now.
Yeah. Not as many as I thought we would have by now, but we've definitely installed a few. Ooh, these are popping up a lot lately.
We are actually a Moen certified technician, and we've gone out and bidded quite a few. We've done several. They're not as easy as it looks on the look.
You just throw it on the water line is all they tell you.
No. we'll go into great detail on that
Yeah.
in the next one. But Mow and Flow, it is an automatic shut off for your house. You can run everything from an app, and it'll detect the break.
Shuts water off to the house from the other side of the world. Mm-hmm. They are pretty neat.
It'll turn the water off for you, actually.
Yeah.
But we'll go through the pros and cons. I've heard some cons on them, and we'll go through the pros and cons on them. And normal installation, we'll throw up some pictures here at the end, and periodically in this episode of Tankless we done, our Tankless room, I'll show you, and we'll hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. And thank you for joining us at Unclogged Conversations, powered by Larry Stinson Plumbing. I'm Larry.
I'm Scott.
Thank y'all.